if you've installed Evidence, then the next thing you want to do is add a connection to your database. If you haven't installed Evidence already, go check out one of our previous videos where you can see how to install Evidence. So I know that Evidence is running because if I make changes to my markdown and hit save, then it updates in the preview window. Okay, so now I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to scroll down to the data sources area. So here is where I can see all the data sources I already have set up to Evidence. I already have the needful things data source set up. That comes with the template. I can delete that if I want to, I don't have to, but it's all the information here is in this sources/needful things connection. But I'm going to just add a new data source. Evidence supports lots and lots of different types of data sources, Postgres, Snowflake, DuckDB, Databricks, BigQuery, etc. For this one, I'm just going to use Postgres. And my Postgres is actually a Supabase, so I'm going to call it Supabase. I can call this whatever I want, it's just a name. And now I need to enter my credentials. So Evidence Supabase. Cool, so I've got my host, my port is 6543, 6543, that's right, that's my username, and then my password. I'm going to copy from here. Okay, and then I'm going to click test connection. It tells me my connection was successful, so I can click confirm changes. And I don't need to save it. Okay, now I'm going to go back home. And if I look in my sources directory, I now have a new source. You can see, because it's in version control, it's actually even green. And this is showing me, if I look in here, this is all my database connection information. These are all the non-secret ones. If I clicked on that one, that would show you the secret ones. I'm not going to click on that. Okay, but I actually need to tell Evidence what data I want to get out of Postgres. And the way that I do that is by adding a SQL query. So if I add a file here, and I'm going to call this deliveries.sql. It has to be .sql because it's going to run a SQL query. And now I'm going to add a query which queries a table in my Supabase. So I'm going to go select star from deliveries. And this is actually quite a big table. I think it's got 100,000 rows, so it's just taking a little bit of time to process it. You can see here. And it told me it's finished, and it wrote 100,000 rows. Okay, great. So now that means that I have my deliveries table successfully loaded into Evidence. I can see that because if I go into the schema view down here, then I can see the deliveries table, and then it's showing me also all the names of the columns, which is going to be helpful for what I want to do next. So I'm going to go back to my index page, and the index is the home page for Evidence. So I'm just going to delete everything here because I don't need it all. And then it's updated, nothing here. Start deliveries data. So that's marked out for a title. And now I'm going to add a SQL code block. So if I go / and then go SQL, and then it's going to autocomplete some of the things I need. I'm going to call this deliveries, and the query I'm going to write is select star from, and it knows that I want Supabase.deliveries. And then when I hit save, and if I show the queries on the page, I can see that I've got my 100,000 rows of delivery data. Okay, great. That's not going to be that interesting though, so let's do deliveries by week. And I'm going to select, and then date, trunk. You know what? And because I've closed this code base now that it knows I'm writing SQL, so I'm going to get the autocomplete date trunk, and I want to do by week, and the column I want to date trunk is order date time, or maybe delivery time. As delivery week. And then I'm going to do just a count star as number of deliveries from super base deliveries group by delivery week. Yeah, that's good. Okay, great. So now I have my data that's run against my query. So now I'm going to insert a line chart. So I'm just using the slash commands, and then the query name is going to be deliveries by week. X, I'm going to use delivery week as my x-axis, and for my y-axis I'm going to use number of deliveries. Okay, it's put it in for me. Now I probably want to give it a title. Great. GitHub Copilot doing the work here. And maybe we have a target number of deliveries. So maybe let me add a component to show me the target. So I'm going to add a reference line. And I'm going to use a Y reference line at, let's say, 800, which is maybe the target. Target. And then I need to close the line chart. So because I'm putting something inside the line chart, I need to change it so that it closes the tag afterwards. Okay, great. So now I've got my target. All right, so I've successfully set up my connection to Postgres and created a chart using evidence. And this is what it looks like.